Could you put your hand up, please? Okay, I've got Mark, I've got Rob, James, Reader, brilliant. Robbie, Sandy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on page 1, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, brilliant. So about 15, half the people on the call then are people that are hoping to take on an apprentice in at least by September. Can I then ask all the educational staff, so if you're a teacher or support, back office, anything to do with education, could everybody who's an employer take their hands off or down, and all the education people please put their hands up. So I've got Richard. Are you counting there?
So we've got 10 hands up, but Harry Parnell, I think, was a bit late, and you should have been an employer, shouldn't you?
Sorry, you might have had Lanley, kind of like the whole of Lanley County, kind of like it's going to be an employer.
Brilliant. Okay, so how many is that?
There's 9 hands up apart without Harry's.
Okay, and then on top of that, then can I ask for you to put your hand up, and I will put my hand up. If you are neither an employer, well, I am an employer actually, so but in this capacity, I'm not an employer and I'm not an educational person, so I put my hand up. And can everybody else do that as well, so we can just see how many? So this is TSA people, CICES people, and various other people that are interested in what we're doing. So there's what, 5, 6 of us? 7. Okay, so really good turnout. This is a brilliant turnout. Thank you very much for everyone for coming today. What I'm going to do is just share my screen and do a quick I haven't done this for ages, shared my screen, and do a quick presentation on just a bit of the background of this the level 3. So I've been on this Trailblazer Group since I think the end of 2021, beginning of 2022. So it's myself as part of Powers Surveyors, and also Richard Maltby as Maltby Surveyors, who are working on it as the employers in terms of the actual chairs. Then we've got Alison Watson from Class of Your Own. TQ UK have been getting involved. Obviously, it's been driven by iFate. And then the Survey Association have really had quite a hand in it as well. And CICES are now on board too. So just to go down, how do I get down here? These are all of the people, all of the companies that have contributed basically. So we've got colleges, Dudley College of Technology, and then also Leeds College of Building, but also Riverside and T3 Training and Development. So by Riverside I mean Cronton, which is our local one, so all hail to Cronton sixth form, and also Suffolk New College are hoping to come on board. Verge in the top left hand side, they are the EPAO, which is the Endpoint Assessment Organisation for the apprenticeship. And then obviously we've got either actual survey companies or large sort of tier 1 contractors who have survey departments within their teams. And also we've got, not forgetting, Topcon and Corec and Leica, everybody that's come from an equipment point of view, they've all been contributing as well. So thank you to everyone really who's got involved with this and comes to all the Trailblazer groups meetings. Right, okay, first off, this is an old slide, but actually it's still relevant, that we are on the Geospatial Surveying Technician Apprenticeship of 8 there. This is what the name of this apprenticeship is called. It's the Level 3 Geospatial Survey Technician Apprenticeship, and it is a mouthful, but it's not to be confused with the Level 3 Surveying Technician Apprenticeship. And we've seen that a lot of geospatial surveyors have been put onto this apprenticeship, but the content is really only around 15%. And this course is for people who want to become building surveying technicians, commercial property surveying technicians, land surveying technicians, valuation surveying technicians, and consultant quantity and project management technicians. So whatever you do, when you get to the final part and you start to put your apprentice onto an apprenticeship, please don't get it mixed up with the wrong apprenticeship name. Okay, why is the apprenticeship so important? I think what we've found from the bit of research that we've done, I've been talking to people in education, in other countries, and also hearsay, and people have come over to us and joined meetings and told us about around the world. And it really does feel like the UK geospatial skill level is lower than in other countries. So this apprenticeship is going to be really great in that it will establish a certain standard. And what I would like to see for the level 3 is that it becomes the entry level geospatial surveying qualification for every single surveyor within the country. And if we look at, say, the Survey Association, who have about 220 or 200 companies on their membership list, but then also, I know not all of them are survey companies, but then if you start to think about, well, maybe if there's 150 of those companies are surveyors, and perhaps maybe they might take it, average out one company per year that they might take on as an apprentice. Already you're looking at 150 potential apprentices a year. And for some companies that'll be a lot higher, and some companies that might be less so. But we also know that TSA doesn't make up every single survey company in the country, and in actual fact that figure could be that higher. And what I would like to see is that we establish a baseline geospatial education standard for all of our surveyors coming into the business. It ensures competence. So one of the things that I did look at was and other people in a CICES meeting, was around the Get It Right initiative, which aims to reduce the number of errors that occur in construction and increase productivity. And GIRI, Get It Right initiative, cites 26 areas of work in which errors occur with the greatest frequency. And I found that geospatial errors could account for 10 of them. And setting out and late surveys and investigations are cited directly by GIRI as two errors that occur with the greatest frequency. The construction industry apparently could save between 10 and 25 billion pounds a year by eliminating error. And if you educate your staff, if you educate your surveyors, you obviously will eliminate error, and you will create a really nice established baseline for the standard. It's a unique selling point for your company. I know a lot of survey companies are getting onto frameworks nowadays, and if you get onto frameworks, then you've also got to show that you've got some kind of social value, and this does go down as a social value part. So if you can prove that you are running a sustainable apprenticeship program, you get points for that, and it's really good from a social value point of view. But actually, what would be amazing is if in the regions where these apprentices are going to be run or are being run, that actually all of the schools in those areas know that there'll be, I don't know, 10 or 15 survey companies that will be sending out, recruiting for apprenticeship surveyors every August and September. So it becomes something that every single school understands is going to happen, so that they can talk to their young people about it. And it means then that you're creating that kind of pathway for students and young people coming into the profession. And if we can stick at that, and it becomes like just a thing, it's a massive selling point for our profession. Every entry-level surveyor should have a level 3 qualification in surveying. And to be honest, it doesn't matter whether it's through the apprenticeship or through the TSA surveying course. It should just be something that we say is important. So a short history of the level 3, for those that don't know, it was approved for delivery in February 2018. But how it was actually set up it became a bit sort of cack-handed at the beginning, and colleges were running the level 3 BTEC in construction for the built environment for UCAS points, because apprenticeships at the time and still at the moment don't get UCAS points. That's starting to change, but that was the reason why the apprenticeship was being run that way. But what it did mean was irrelevant subjects were being studied because there were mandatory topics that had to be studied in order to get that BTEC. And also at the same time, because young people were or apprentices were studying for the wrong type of content, they weren't studying for the right type, which was geospatial content. So when I came on board in 2021, the remit was to review the apprenticeship and to make it fit for purpose so that we could roll it out across the country and we can create this hopefully dynamic qualification that can be used across the country as an entry level qualification. So now we've got TQ UK's level 3 diploma in geospatial surveying, which is now being created, and this has been integrated into the apprenticeship. So an apprentice will get 2 qualifications. They will get the level 3 diploma in geospatial surveying and the level 3 geospatial survey technician apprenticeship, and you can't get one without the other because they've been integrated. And what that also means is that throughout the 1.5 or 2 years that they are working on their apprentice, they will probably do assignments, maybe small tests within the 2 years that will go towards their TQ UK qualification. And then when you get to the end of the apprenticeship, I'm jumping ahead of myself here, they will come to what's called an endpoint assessment or an EPA. I'll talk about that in a minute. We are going to get UCAS points onto apprenticeships. It is coming, but it's likely that that will be for 2026 starts and onwards. There is also UCAS points on the level 3 diploma in geospatial surveying. And what that means is that if your young person or your apprentice is studying and they want to go on and study for a level 6, then at least then they're gaining UCAS points to take them there. So what happens on the course? Oh, I've just told you basically, you've got apprentices that are learning 2 different types of qualification. Let me talk to you a bit more about the endpoint assessment. The endpoint assessment is very similar to the technical application for the Chartered Institute of Civil Engineering Surveyors membership. So what we're doing at the moment, and what I think is in discussion, is that once an apprentice gets through their endpoint assessment, and let me tell you what it is first, it's a multiple choice test. So I think it's a 40-minute multiple choice test of 20 or so questions. And then it goes on to a project, which is a 3,000-word project. And it's a project report, sorry. And what the apprentice does is talk about a project that they have created. And then that gets assessed, it goes in for assessment. And then finally, they put a portfolio of evidence together, usually around about 10 pieces of discrete evidence that they put together, and then have a professional discussion with an endpoint assessor, who is usually somebody from the Chartered Institute of Surveying, who's probably also actually assessing applications for technical membership at the CICES. So once they've got through all of that, what we're hoping is that they get automatic technical membership to the Chartered Institute of Civil Engineering Surveying. That's still on the cards, but what it actually does also is it kind of gives a kick up the ass to everybody else that's not done the apprenticeship, that's in your business, that hasn't had this opportunity, because it basically shows that, you know, our apprentices are doing something that they, well, I don't know how it is for your survey companies, but our mid-level management think it's very hard to put all this work in to do this application form for the technical apprenticeship, technical membership. But in actual fact, the apprentices are doing it, and it's really not that hard, and it's really very easy to do. It's just a case of setting some time aside to make it happen. So what do apprentices get with an apprenticeship? They get employer support and they get experience of work. So whilst they're training, they're also getting experience of what that training means in a real life situation. In my mind, it embeds the information and the theory so much more quickly, and it also pulls out such a much more competent person than if they were just studying the theory at university or at college. They get a full-time salary, and they also get 20% off the job training. So for them, they're being paid for 5 days, and there's a potential that, you know, 1 day a week they might be training, or they might be doing a block release of 1 or 2 weeks a term at college. 95% of the course is paid for by the government. It's a £13,000 apprenticeship. So £650 of it is paid for by the employer, and the rest is paid for by the government. The apprentice gets the diploma in geospatial surveying. And they get the foundational knowledge of construction and surveying. And hopefully we hope they get the automatic technical membership of CICES. End of year one. So from my point of view, you can take on an apprentice, you can give them an apprenticeship salary. And at the moment, that apprenticeship salary from April 2025, if you work the hours that we work, which is 8 till £5:15, that apprentice will get a basic salary of £16,195 a year. And when you're employing an apprentice, you pay them the apprenticeship salary for 12 months, and then after that they need to either go on to minimum wage or whatever its salary is that you decide. What we've found over the years is that you get the best people if you don't offer the lowest possible salary of £16,000. So if I was to recruit in September of this year, which I am going to do, I'm going to be looking at something higher than the £16,195 in order to get the person that I want on board. And it's still a decent salary if you think about what you're getting. But what I then require is that that apprentice, by the end of year one, really needs to be able to be doing very small topographical surveys and processing it from start to finish. They really do need to be able to do a small course of setting out, so 2 or 3 houses of setting out. But what I'm trying to say is they need to basically be a part of your team by the end of the first 12 months. This is an 18-month course, I think, but the education guys can correct me if I'm wrong, with an endpoint assessment after it. So apparently it's over 2 years it should be, should be completed. But I'm looking for them to become fee earning basically by the end of 12 months. And that's what everybody else should expect as well. By the end of the course, what I've found is that the productivity levels, because you haven't got apprentices going out on block release or day release, suddenly you've got them full time. You literally see that extra 20% of productivity come back. And also not just that, I think they grow in confidence over those 2 years. They really embed into the team. It's like it's like putting a shot of adrenaline into the arm of your company. To see the difference really once that course is finished. So what do we get as employers then? Yeah, so we only pay 5% of the cost of the £13,000 apprenticeship. And if you were to send your apprentices or your staff down the TSA course, sorry, Rachel and Katie, but if they went down the survey school course, you're looking at around about £7,000 for a non-membership cost on exactly the same kind of course. If you have apprentices, you do not pay any employer's national insurance for them. So just make sure that your NI code is changed to H, and then you will pay no employer's national insurance, which I think everybody will be very keen to understand a bit more about. The support from the college is second to none. They run apprentices all the time. So all of the colleges are absolutely geared up and set up to help you recruit, on board, and understand what the apprenticeship is all about. We've had absolutely loads of help. We've had step-by-step understanding of what needs to be done. But the both colleges that we've used Dudley and Cronton Sixth Form College. They've both been absolutely second to none in terms of helping us get those apprentices on board. You have the government apprenticeship website where you can recruit, so you can put your recruitment ad, or you have to put your recruitment ad onto the government apprenticeship website. For the first time this year, we put ours on Indeed, and we did that in August and September last year, so just at the end of A-level results, and we had 146 applications for one job. And that's in the sleepy old town of Frodsham on the M56. So, I mean, imagine what it would be like in other areas of the country and other areas of the Northwest. If you get your dates right, if you get it out there, if schools start to understand that, the whole of the survey profession starts looking in August, September, it becomes a thing. People start to know about it. And then, we end up with our pathway, our career path nicely set up. So there's a three-way check-in between the college, the student, and the employer, and this should happen every 12 weeks, I believe. So every 3 months or once a term, there's a three-way check-in, and that's a time where you know, it's done by teams, so it means everybody can be there. Your apprentice might be on site. You've got the person in the college, and then you've got you as an employer, and you can talk about whatever it is that, you know, it needs to be discussed. It's really about performance. It's about how they're getting on. It's, you know, it's a check-in basically, and it means that the apprentice feels more supported because everybody's there making sure that they are okay and that they're on track. Obviously, it gives us an opportunity to give relevant on-the-job training. And actually, what we are seeing is that we get committed employees who are also set up to learn. So once they've done the apprenticeship, you know, a couple of them are like, what am I going to do next? I want to do something next, which is unheard of, really, in my experience. And we want to be a learning organisation. We want to continue increasing the standard of the kind of people and surveyors that we've got in this business so that we can ask for higher fees. It's as simple as that, really, but also so we can ensure that there are no errors in anything that we do. And you know, educating all of your staff is one way to get there. So what's next? The level 6 geospatial mapping and science specialist degree apprenticeship is currently under review. It's being run as a day release at the University of East London. Richard is going over it at the moment, along with Nikki Jordan, and we're hoping it's going to be signed off by this summer and that it will be ready for September 2025 release. What we can say about that is it's now an integrated degree. So you obviously get your degree and your apprenticeship at the same time. The university accredits it. We're looking for the course to be delivered, obviously still within the University of East London. We'd love the course to be at Sheffield Hallam University and then also Suffolk New College. So there's three areas of study at the moment. Possibly more if we can convince more people. And it's a great work study route for ambitious geospatial surveyors. That's it for the moment. I want to kind of tell you more about what we do, but I think it might be better to get questions and see where everybody's head's at. Is there anybody that has a particular question about what we've done or about the apprenticeship? Yes, Harry.
It's the level 6, 2.5 years, 3 years. What's the length of the level 6?
Yeah, so the level 6 is a 5-year course if you haven't done the level 3 already. So, and again, it depends on the university that you're working with. And speaking to all of the universities, I've kind of said, you know, if I had a level 3 geospatial surveyor that's just finished that course and then they went on to the level 6 on the level 6 first year, they would go insane because they're quite advanced by the time they leave. So I would need what they need to do, what any of the universities would need to do. There's a phrase and I can't remember what it is, but it's like what kind of learning they've had already gets taken into account, and then they can join at year 2. Apparently, year 5 is really just about the dissertation, the report, or all of the written work that they have to do to get the degree. So years 1, 2, 3, and 4 are basically theory and practical based. Mark, you had a question as well.
Yeah, we put one of our apprentices onto the Cronton College course a couple of years ago, and yeah, from what you've said as well, he was on the wrong course. Basically, he was doing 15% geospatial, and the rest was more to do with estate agents, valuation, really. So he was really on the wrong course. You probably know what I'm talking about. So the new course that Cronton College is going to run in September, is that going to be a geospatial technician course, or is it the old course?
No. So that nobody can run the old course anymore because it's been completely revamped and renewed. There is because it's an integrated course already with a mandated geospatial surveying diploma against it. That is the qualification you can get. There is literally no way you can study for any other qualifications whilst you're doing this apprenticeship, because the apprenticeship and the diploma in geospatial surveying are all wide ranging and fully all about geospatial surveying. It's absolutely fit for purpose. I can't wait for for everybody to start teaching it, because it's only going to be about geospatial surveying. There is nothing else in it at all. What I would say though is the differences in the course. So of course anything that's not geospatial is gone, but what we are looking at is, you know, running your own projects, how you run those projects. Do you understand about EDI? Do you understand about environmental issues? So these are all things that are part of it now. But for me, it's very much about managing projects, learning how to communicate with clients. You know, so it's not just about the theory of geospatial surveying, although it's largely that. It's actually all those little bits that sit around the jobs that they do that they need to understand as well.
Okay, that's great. That's really good to know. And just one quick last question as well. So do we have sufficient numbers to run the course at Crumpton College in September?
Well, this is what we're hoping today. So this is what we're hoping is going to happen, because they won't run it if we don't come, and if we, so it's, and you know what I was talking about back to earlier on is, if there's 150 companies who might take on at least one surveyor on average, between everybody, one surveyor a year. And then if you think about the colleges that are currently available, which is Crompton and Dudley, and possibly T3 might be doing something in London, and also Suffolk New College, you've only got 4 colleges for 150 potential surveyors, and that's just through TSA, you know, members alone. So if, you know, it's not a case of will they are committed to it, and they are absolutely wanting to do it 100%. But if they don't get 15 surveyors on that course every year, there is just no point in them running it. And they need to know that they can get those 15 so that they can fund it, and they need to fund a specialist tutor and everything else that sits around it to make it an A1 course. You know, it just has to, we have to do it. We have to commit. And everybody on this call, if you're from the Northwest, you know, it'd be really great by the end of today to get an understanding of who is ready to do that in September.
Yeah. Well, we've committed. Yeah.
Great. Andy James, who's from Crompton, I've just seen you've put your camera on. Do you want to have a quick chat?
No, just to echo exactly that, Lucy. That we're in a time of lots of kind of competitive markets in terms of change, and geospatial is one that we really like. We want to keep going, but unfortunately, without that commitment, we can't plan the course in the quality that we require. So that forward planning to get those specialists in place, Lucy, as you mentioned, there is so important, so that we can plan forward, and obviously to reserve that space for what is quite a long period of time. Because unfortunately, because of the competing priorities, if that isn't done, then the next sector, unfortunately for us, there's multiple will take that space, because we're in a time of kind of great change. But no, we've got a lot of enthusiasm towards the kind of geospatial. It's gathered a lot of speed and pace, and it's the right course now, which is the really important bit. That was the crux of it. So it's just to kind of confirm that we're absolutely on board if we can get those numbers.
Lovely. Thanks, Andy. I've seen Richard's hand up. Do you want to just come in, and then I've got Polly and I think Harry as well. So go ahead, Richard.
I mean, we were speaking about the level 6 course a little bit earlier, and again, we would look to run that if we knew numbers. I think that's really important for us. We've obviously, Khalil does a lot of work with yourself. We've got this stuff there. It's just, if we could get the numbers, we'd definitely be looking at doing it.
Okay, and so first of all, let me apologise, because I should have included you in my level 6 geospatial mapping and science specialist degree. And let me just introduce you as well. So this is Richard Freeman from Dudley College of Technology, who works with Khalil Ahmed, who is the tutor for this course at Dudley and has been running it since 2018. And Richard we've heard a lot about the fact that Dudley would like to run the course, the level 6 course, and accrediting it through another university. So we're looking for another university, aren't we?
Yeah, so you know, our closest university is probably Wolverhampton, so we'd be looking at developing some sort of partnership. But again, we need sort of some basic numbers. And then we can definitely put it forward to our senior. You know, it's already on our senior leadership's radar. So it's just about firming some things up really, and yeah. So we definitely, I mean, the level 3 course that we've got going, our cohort is pretty much full for September, October now. So that's, you know, over the last couple of years, that's been really good.
Yeah.
So it's coming through, and I think from our point of view, it's getting the word out to the students, to the young people about geospatial, because I think there's not much awareness about it for the young people.
Yeah, I think that's our next task really, is to get a bit further down the pipeline in terms of young people coming through and getting out to more schools. And I know there's a lot of work that's been done on that. Richard, just before we pop on to Polly, can you just tell me, would you need a cohort of 15, or could you get away with a cohort of 10 for the level 6? With it being, what I'm finding in my experience is that everybody should be a level 3, but not necessarily everybody that's done a level 3 wants to go and do a level 6. So you're almost looking at a ratio of 1 to 2 really for level 6.
I think from my point of view, we'd probably be somewhere in the middle. Our curriculum lead, VP and AP would probably say we want 15 to 18, but I think 12 we could probably do. Oh, there was something's gone out of my head. I was going to say, yeah. So I think what you were talking about earlier was something called RPL. So if they've done the level 3 qualification, there would be some sort of RPL, recognized prior learning, taken off that level 6 course, and it would be interesting for us to find out exactly how long that would be, because I agree another 5 years is a long time.
It is a long time. It's a long time for the employer as well as the apprentice, but I think it's more the frustration I think an apprentice would feel having learned so much at level 3 to then, you know, cover new, same old ground. Thanks for that, Richard. Yeah, so the TQ UK learning outcomes
as well.
Go ahead.
Emma's put a comment in the thing saying that Suffolk New College, validated by the University of Suffolk, are planning to run the level 3 and the level 6. So they're happy to work with other colleges to plan together. So Richard and Emma, who would be good for working together on that level 6. Yeah,
most definitely. Might be good to introduce Richard to Emma after this call, perhaps. What's that? So Suffolk New College are looking to run the apprenticeship. They've got Sizewell nearby them, currently starting up, but actually there's a fair few survey companies around there as well which could all get involved. So again, it's looking for commitment there. Polly, go ahead. Sorry, you've been very patient. Oh, you're on. I think you're on mute. Or I can't hear you. Can anybody else hear Polly? We'll come back to you, Polly. Harry, go ahead, and then we'll come back to Polly.
The Balfour Beatty have committed 12 for September intake.
Brilliant. Whereabouts are you doing that?
Basically A57, so going up to Compton. Some are going to Dudley. And also, you mentioned Sizewell C. So I'm basically one of the leads in Sizewell C, kind of that down there as well. We're basically trying to finalise numbers. Obviously, there has been engagement kind of for that. I can't remember the lady's name kind of for that, New Southwark College. But as you rightly say, it's going to be a massive intake there, and we're currently forecasting kind of that because not many people want to sort of travel that far out, and we've got a lot of other jobs which need to be filled. So so we're just finalising our numbers kind of for New Southwark College as well, with Balfour Beatty, Lanark and Brieg. There's a 33 and 3rd joint venture in that neck of the woods. So so sort of we're committed to basically providing numbers.
That's so wonderful. That's so wonderful to hear. I know you're going to talk a bit more about this on the Trailblazer Group tomorrow. So thanks for telling us, because it's basically the tier 1 contractors that kind of are our big stones, and we as smaller survey companies will fit in around you. But if you can, create that bums on seats, those big numbers, it means this has become sustainable then, and it means hopefully that we could get something running every year that would just be out of this world. It would be really great to really showcase what we're trying to do with this geospatial apprenticeship to the rest of the construction industry. So thanks for that, Harry. I really appreciate you telling us. And then I've got Raj.
Sorry, Lucy, I'm going to pull that call to arms that kind tomorrow, because obviously we've got every single sort of tier one kind of sort of contractor on that call. So obviously I'm doing a lot there. The reason why I put my hand up double in the beginning, Katie, because yes, I'm an employer, but obviously Balfour Beatty are trying to basically bring the practical engineering surveying kind of fact to support all your colleges kind of fact and university as well. So going to be providing kind of fact sort of people that have got about 35 years of experience. They've built it, been there, got the T-shirt, and obviously they'll come in to support yourselves and your colleges and institutions kind of in there and doing the practical, that kind of as well as sort of the theory. So that's also going to be discussed tomorrow as well, Lucy, in that Trailblazer event if people are attending.
That's amazing. So what you're saying is that teams or people from Balfour Beatty or within this joint venture might actually be up for being, you know, tutoring some of their parts of the course then as well in various colleges.
Correct. There's a big thing tomorrow. You'll see more detail there, but I've been working very closely with Alison kind of since December on the CRTB grant side of things there. I'm basically taking sort of some employers to basically become actual sort of professional sort of teachers. And that will obviously help that kind of that sort of go from there. But obviously I'm touching on the whole presentation tomorrow, but I thought I'd rather say it now. Yeah. Obviously here to try and support the colleges, and yes, we are providing numbers. So following Mark's saying now, we need to get the numbers in, and I'll do a call to arms tomorrow as well.
So important. Thank you so much. I look forward to hearing from you tomorrow. And if anybody on this call wants to come to the Trailblazer meeting tomorrow and isn't on it at the moment, it's in the afternoon around about 3 o'clock. Just ping me, let me know, and I'll add you to the call. Rajvi, I've got you. Would you like to talk?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'll come back to Polly as well in a bit, but go ahead, Rajvi.
Yes, I just want to ask you the question that after level 3, if we want to go to level 6, we can apply through your CIC's organization?
No, it would just be the same as you would do for the level 3. You go to the college or the university direct. You tell them that you want to run you want to have a level 3 or level 6 student. And then you put an advert together. It goes through onto the government apprenticeship website, but I would also say you should go out into your own recruitment. You know, whatever you do for recruitment should be the same, and you should get it out there. There's also an amazing apprenticeships magazine as well, which goes out periodically to school young people. So yeah, you would speak to the college or the university directly to tell them you're interested. At the moment, it's only at University of East London, and that's day release. So you'd have to be near the university. Although I know that Richard he's got 10 people doing the level 6, and he's got people coming down from Warwick to do that day release. So it is possible. But yeah, you speak to the university direct, tell them you're interested. If you need any contacts or you want to know who it is that you need to speak to, obviously stay in touch with me, and I'm more than happy to add you to the Trailblazer Group as well.
Okay, because I'm based in London, like East London, so I can
you can do it. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, by all means, get your apprentices onto the University of East London. I think that would just be music to their ears to hear that they've got somebody else that's interested in putting apprentices on there.
Yeah.
Who else? Anybody else? Go ahead. Polly, do you want to try for a second time? There we go. You seem to go on, talk. Oh no!
Just put something in the chat though, Lucy.
You put something in the chat, have you?
This is what you wanted to ask Polly. When will the final decision be made about the level 6 September 2025 start at Sheffield Hallam?
Yeah, so all of that's coming up in the meeting tomorrow. But really, I mean, at the end of the day, they're willing to run it. But again, like we are saying with the level 6, if there are not enough employers and they're saying they need 15 apprentices to make this work, and they need commitment from 15 every year, it might even be as high as 20.
I think it might be saying that it's not going to be 2025 though, is it? I think they've said that it's not going to happen by then, but hopefully maybe by 2026 September.
So there's this course would actually be run across 2 faculties within Sheffield Hallam. So they are at the moment just working out the memorandum of understanding between the 2 faculties. But I think what they're interested in is knowing what interest is coming from employers. And I think I've got Andrew Jones', email address. I know he would be interested in hearing from everybody as to whether they would be interested in running the level 6. I know Ollie Viney from Cumbria has also expressed interest. He's also given the name of 2 contacts in the top of the Northwest who would be interested. So we're looking at 3 people there already. So this is not impossible. It's a possibility, but everybody needs to commit. We need to tell them that that's what we want to do. We need to put people on the course. I'm sure everybody understands the issues that universities are under at the moment, and the problems with fees and lack of fees and salaries of teachers that have been there for a long time, so they've got really high salaries. All of this came up in a conversation with Andrew Jones, and he basically said, when it comes down to it, I just need employers to commit. They are committed to, they have a separate section of Sheffield Hallam where they create employer forums and get people together. So I believe they're very good at keeping people in contact and telling you what's going on. So I'm just feeding people to him as they come along. Oh my God, you contacted them several times and no response. Okay, you haven't got the right contact number, I think. Let me give you Andrew Jones's number. And there's a reason I'm doing his bit tomorrow on the Geospatial Trailblazer meeting, and I think it's because he can't make it. But if you could send me an email, Polly, that's one of the best ways, because it means he's got some written evidence. And I'll just keep pounding away with him. I'll be resending Ollie's email. I'll resend yours until he acquiesces and basically does something. We will make it happen, I promise.
Another comment from Rod Judge saying, we've been speaking to Alison. What's the current status on creating the course programme and content? Will it be a common throughout all colleges?
Yeah,
Yes.
So that's what Harry touched on before. That's basically Harry and Alison Watson have been talking to CITB about getting some kind of funding to create the content. So first off, if you go onto the IFATE website and you look at the course as it stands now, you'll see that there are new duties that didn't used to be there before, and there are also knowledge, skills and behaviours. So it's fairly prescriptive as to what a student or an apprentice needs to learn. Then if you go on to TQ UK, I don't know if somebody can put them into the chat so people can easily get to these, but there's the TQ UK specification, which covers, I think it's 6 or 7 units. And again, they kind of mirror what's going on in the apprenticeship in terms of the knowledge, skills and behaviours. So it's very prescriptive in terms of what an apprentice has to learn. And then what I have at the moment is I've been collecting raw data from people who are already running the course. Some of it is stuff that would probably come from employers anyway, so policies on sustainability and EDI and that kind of stuff. So we've got raw data to start with, and what we started last year in June was we got all of the colleges together who were going to run this course, so that we could talk to them about how we standardise the content. And then now, on top of this, we've got the cherry on the cake, which is hopefully Harry and Alison getting some kind of funding to fund somebody to put an actual, fairly prescriptive course content together for the whole of the apprenticeship. But as things stand at the moment, it's so much more watertight than it was before in terms of what they need to learn. And I really do encourage everybody to go and look at that TQ UK specification and the IFATE, the Institute for Apprenticeships and Technical Education. Go and look at the apprenticeship and see, and you'll see that there's no veering away from the fact that it has to be all about geospatial surveying. And I'm really looking forward to hopefully getting some funding to create that content in time as well.
So there's a link to both the apprenticeship standard and the TQ UK diploma in the chat. For anyone
That's brilliant.
interested.
Thanks, Katie. Does anybody have any more questions? I think one of the things that we need to do, and I know Christine Gilligan and Alison, is it Alison Barker, are on the call at the moment. My next step in terms of Cronton, especially because Cronton aren't running the course this year but want to start again in September 25, they are looking to create an employer forum. So which would include all of the survey companies who are looking to commit basically for September. So what I'm hoping is that the survey companies in the Northwest that are on this call will then, get in touch with Alison and Christine. I don't know if they want to come on here and just talk about it at all, and like what are the next steps in terms of the.
Yeah, hi. So I think obviously once we've got, whether it's a commitment or sort of general interest, ideas of maybe, they're interested, they want more information, then, we're happy to follow up on, bring that forum together. Deal with any questions, queries, and then look at how we can take that forward that meets best everybody's needs as well.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah,
just really that we could set that forums to find out what how they get from basically the point of recruitment right through to enroll in them as well. We can support with all of that. Any of them who haven't got apprenticeship service accounts, we can set that up as well. So we can answer any queries right through to sort of delivery.
Okay. Is there a chance of setting up an email group so that we get round robins going out all the time so people are kind of aware of
yeah.
I'm presuming, Richard, that already works in Dudley, and I know that Suffolk New College are on it already. They're very much matured. They have matured in how they engage with business and employers. But if there's anybody, and again, if you're near Dudley, please go to Dudley. Please confirm that you're interested in committing with them. Yeah, absolutely, as Richard's saying. Okay, so can I just have hands up again for Cronton College? Can you just put your hands up if you're interested in putting somebody on at on the apprenticeship at Cronton College, please? Okay. And Harry, how many did you say would be on at Cronton? Harry? How many did you say you were putting on at Cronton?
3/4.
3/4. So we've got 3 or 4 from Balfour Beatty. We've got 1 from Stephen Ashcroft. We've got 1 from Mark Hudson. We've got 1 from me. Have we got anybody else? Okay. We still need to do a job, don't we? We still need to get more people on. I know Malcolm Hughes aren't on here. They
were 12 or weren't they on the list? I guess maybe not everyone's here. You had a list on a spreadsheet, didn't you, of people?
Yes, I did. Yeah, there were. I believe there were about 12 who were interested. So I think we need to go back to that list and make sure everybody's committed to it.
Hi, Lucy. Yeah, I think you're right there. Actually, that from what Alison was telling me, was that we've got 12 already committed to Cronton College, and as Katie said, they're probably not all on this Teams call. Yeah.
So we need to crack on with that, bringing all of those people together, which we will do. Are there any other questions? Khalil, I've seen your name popping up in the comments, but I've not got my chat up. Is there anything you want to mention?
He's managed to find the link to the diploma. I think that's.
Yeah, not really. I mean, I think it's been quite a fruitful meeting. It's looking good. Yeah. I think the next stage would be, I mean, I know this topic's been raised. I mean, RPL calculation for level 6. It will be a good task to find and work out the correlation between level 3 qualification and level 6, because it may still be different from college to college, to be honest.
Okay, yeah, you're right. It's making sure that we standardise what's happening in all of the colleges, really, and then it's making sure that reverts or the RPL works in the same way for everybody, which I'm sure that's impossible to do almost, isn't it? So something to think of over the summer, and when it's approved.
Yeah.
Okay, lovely.
Steve Ashcroft's got his hand up.
Yeah, Stephen, do you want to talk to us, or is it you've got your hand up because you were saying you're committing an apprentice? You might have left. How he's gone.
No, sorry, my microphone wasn't working. Yeah, I was just looking at one of the links there. Sorry, I was
right.
Just at Cranton.
And are you happy with them? Has it got everything in that you need it?
I just need to go through it all again. Obviously, I have a few concerns which I'll bring up privately rather than saying here. But yeah,
that's
no
fine.
problems.
I'm more than welcome. I mean, I welcome any feedback because it all helps to kind of, you know, for the next round and making it even more fit for purpose. It will come up for renewal and approval again in 2026. So if there are things that we need to update and change about it, then let's start working on that now. So yeah, I'd be more than happy for you to get in touch.
Right, excellent. Thank you.
Cool. Any more questions? Last call. Okay, Harry, go ahead.
We're very focused on engineering surveying, but I've basically put some of my BIM team also through the Crompton course as well.
Cool.
So it's not just that kind of engineering surveyors kind of thing. It's also a good course for geospatial there on the GIS side of things. It does touch base on BIM as well. So any kind of that employers kind of on the course, I do recommend that kind of putting your BIM people through kind of the course as well.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. And Khalil, you've got another.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to add to that point. I think it's a very interesting point that it's not only about geospatial surveys, it's about BIM, it's about lean construction, it's about utility surveying, it's about photogrammetry, it's about hydrographic surveying. It's not like limited to setting out a topographic surveying. It's also, I mean, if someone is working as a monitoring engineer for HS2, it's equally applicable to them. Anyone working with satellite navigation, consoles, mapping, airborne LiDAR systems, this course is meant for everyone. This is what it is for.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Khalil.
I'll just need a couple of minutes at the end of this, please, Lucy, me and yourself to sort of cover tomorrow. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, well, let's draw this to a close. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming online, and we'll be in touch with those employers that have expressed a commitment to September 2025.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thank you.
Bye-bye.